Hello, everybody on Clubhouse, on YouTube. I am Kyle Berry,
And I'm Santi Lozano.
and this is Marketing and Advertising 101, where we discuss new cutting edge ways to grow your business online using automation, Facebook advertising, media buying, and the newest tools that the internet is offering us to leverage low cost impressions to get your business high results. Today, we're going to be going over tracking. And if you missed our last Clubhouse on our CRM system, you can find it on our YouTube page. That one was an amazing structural breakdown of how a CRM is going to leverage the customer's intent in your business and also get that customer value higher, as well as get your bottom line increased month after month after month with high engagement using that CRM. And the great part about CRMs, the whole structure around it, is automation. So less work for you, more results for your bottom dollar. So if you haven't seen that one yet, you can find it on our YouTube page. But today we're going to go over my favorite topic. And Santi was like, hey, you have this one because you're a nerd. You're a nerd on the tracking side. But
This is your
yeah,
chocolate syrup.
dude, I love tracking, right? So a little bit about me. I didn't come from a marketing background. I came from an engineering background. So numbers are like my expertise. And that's, kind of where I found my success in the agency world was testing and then the ability to track that testing behind it. And I truly believe tracking is everything when it comes to online advertising. If you're not tracking correctly, you really are not understanding how much money you're putting out there compared to the return. You're not understanding your real consumers. You're not understanding your business online. And really clearly, I tell this to a lot of business owners, there's a completely different business physically as there is on a business online, and you have to treat each one separately with their own assets and their own way of leveraging it to the best of its ability to get the customer to give you the money for your product or your service. So in tracking, right, the most important thing when it comes for tracking and the real factor behind it is understanding the customer's journey through the buying cycle of your business. You're going to be putting all these tracking mechanisms on your personal website or anything that you have control over. So how it works normally is a small line of code, 2 or 3 lines of code that's a simple copy and paste into your header. If you know anything about coding, right? If you're completely lost and you're like, I don't know what that means, a developer can do it within 30 seconds, and a YouTube video will show you in about three minutes max.
Yep.
But it's really not that difficult, guys. Tracking is one of the easiest things to actually set up within your business, and it should be done right off the rip. As a startup, you should develop the website, and before it's even launched, before you get your first impression on that site, you should have your tracking mechanisms in place. So if it's Facebook, if it's Google Analytics, if it's any type of ad structures, or if it's a third-party system that wants to understand the consumers that are coming to your site, the visitors that are coming to your site, all it's going to be is 2 to 3 lines of code added to your website, so it tracks that consumer's interaction. What platforms you use it? You really have to dive into each platform's analytics and consumers, like we talked about on the omnichannel Clubhouse that we had of using each platform to its best benefits. You have to understand that each platform that you're using is going to have a different consumer base, different interactions, different engagement levels. So each platform has its own tracking. Not only do you have your own website tracking so that when you go on the site, you see your bounce rate, your visitors, things of that nature. You have tracking for each advertising platform that you use. And you also have tracking with Google Analytics, which is a broad third-party system that should track everything across the board from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any advertising pieces. Google Analytics will cover all of it. And then above Google Analytics, you have third-party bonus systems that not only track multiple different sources, but also can report for you or help you run ads on that system. And we'll go into that a little bit later. But every platform uses tracking. That's what I'm getting at. Like, you have to make sure that you have, it might be just 3 or 4 lines of code, but you got to have that 3 or 4 lines of code for each platform that you're using. It's not hard, guys. Just make sure you get it done in the development of your website. And if you don't have it now, if you don't have a Facebook pixel right now on your site, you are losing out on so much consumer data that Facebook can just give you if you have that pixel installed. I mean, Santi, I know that you're big with consumer engagement, understanding the consumer flow. How much easier is it to like write emails or understand the customer when you have all these data points from these platforms?
Oh my gosh, so much easier. I mean, you can kind of see and tell from the engagement that a customer has on your site. I mean, a Facebook pixel can track each event that happens on a page. So event being that they look at a certain page, or if you're in e-commerce, they look at a certain product, or they engage with that product, like they add it to their cart, or they initiated the checkout, but it didn't finish it up. So it's being able to hone down on who exactly you're talking to, and then writing the copy, the designs of knowing exactly where that customer is at and how to push them over the edge. Just having that leverage on your marketing is just night and day, honestly, because instead of having this general communication, you can now talk a little bit more personal to them, almost like if you're the one picking up the phone to the customer and being like, dude, saw you added this to your cart, but you didn't check out. What's going on? And that really pushes people to check out.
Yeah, and not only that, how granular you can get with understanding your
Oh
customers
yeah.
when it comes to the tracking, right? So we always talk about, in the last few, we've talked about the customer's persona and understanding the journey of the customer. Well, you really got to get granular at where they go on your website,
Mm-hmm.
how far they made it through your buying cycle, and what that customer looks like from that platform. And the tracking mechanisms will help you do that. You'll be amazed about the amount of data that comes back to you with just implementing these few lines of code, right? So if you look at Facebook, Facebook alone has, I believe it's 127 data points. Correct me if
Mm-hmm.
I'm wrong, but it's 127 data points per individual. So if we go and look at the back end of Google, when we run Google ads, we have demographic, we got the demographic as an age, gender, location, and I'm pretty sure they have jobs and some interest factors, very few, all focused around keywords. So it's all things that consumers are typing in. So it's easy for Google to find those consumers. Facebook, on the other hand, has the personal data of consumers that have their interest from their likes, their shares, all their engagement factors they've done on the social platform. That type of information coming back to you in your tracking pixel will make sure you understand the consumers that are coming from Facebook to your website, aka the type of consumer that wants your product. Once you know that consumer, you can start reducing your cost per customer acquisition. You can start reducing your cost per purchase. You can hone in on who really wants your product, and that's what that Facebook pixel is going to help you do. And my favorite thing is, again, the life cycle of the customer. If you guys haven't seen the analytics portion on Facebook's back end, they'll actually get you a graphed out structural system where it shows you've gotten 1,000 website hits that led to 500 clicks over to your contact us page, that led to 50 people filling out the form, and you got a total of 8 leads. It will show you your conversion value step by step by step. I can't tell you, Santi, this makes me laugh so hard when I installed the Pixel the first time, and the guys are like, I don't know why we're not getting any sales, or I don't know. We got all these people coming to the site. We have an online bookings page. People are going to the online booking page, but nobody is setting the booking. And I had this for one of my jump parks. I put the Pixel in, I go through their whole online reservation system, and it was, I think, like 3 steps into the process, right before they initiate checkout was when they were losing all the customers. Pixel showed me right away, like, this is where the customers are dropping off. I go on there, and if you pause for longer than like 30 seconds, the page would make you reload, and then if you had to reload, you had to start all over.
Oh my
So
gosh.
so people are going in, understanding what the price is, going to look for their credit card to pay, come to the page, and it
Gone.
was like gone, right? I was like, this is your problem. Conversion rate
Dude.
went up like they said they were really not getting anything from the site, but at the end of the day, once we fixed that, we actually had like a 4% conversion rate from cold audiences to booked appointments, which is huge
It's
on
huge.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Huge, right? So those tracking mechanisms will help you find those flaws in your businesses, because you can start seeing each step of the consumer's buying cycle and understanding where they're dropping off, understand what is the reason that they could fall off at the initiate checkout page, or what's the reason that they go to the home page but they're never leaving the home page. Well, I see that a lot, Santi. I know you do too, and people just don't understand that if you work on the conversions value of your site, it's going to skyrocket your business across the board. But we'll save that for a different clubhouse, because that's about a 4-hour conversation. Conversion factors.
Yep.
So what getting into going in the customer's journey, we're going from the social platforms, we're going from Google, we're going to your website, then we gain the customer's interaction, we get their email or their contact information, and then they go into the email database. Santi, can you break down some of the tracking mechanisms that email have that people should be looking at, or anything that they should be doing on the side with emails when it comes to tracking?
I think a lot of it is kind of related to what you were saying of being able to see exactly where a customer is at in their checkout process. I mean, one big thing when it comes to e-commerce, especially, it's kind of what my big specialty has been for email marketing, has been for the abandoned checkouts for the people that add to the cart and they don't check out, and how you'll be able to bring them back. Either it's reminding them that they have a cart that's active, or it could also be offering them a discount for a specific product or a specific dollar amount. It could also be to have them submit a survey to see if there's a checkout issue. Like Kyle was saying with the situation with that jump park, that could have been an opportunity to have them fill out a survey and for them to be like, your site's pretty jank. It's not letting me fill out the form. And when it does, it refreshes. And that company would have been able to figure that out right off the bat without having to wait for someone like Kyle to come along and like fix that for them. So it's huge to have basically all eyes on your business of what exactly is happening. I mean, I think a big misconception, especially when you have a website for a business, is it becomes a set and forget, where like you just build a site and you have a homepage, you got a contact page, you got an about us, you got services, and we're done. And we never look at it for another year until someone tells us to actually look at it. And I think in that situation, especially if you have a whole checkout process, if you don't have an actual view of what happens step by step of what the customer is encountering, you're never really going to know where your opportunities are for improvement. And that's kind of how it works for email marketing too, is how we can re-engage those customers, either bringing them back or cross-selling them, or like bring them back for the abandoned checkouts and so on and so forth. So, I mean, tracking when it comes to the email side of things is crucial. It's critical for emails, really, because you can go out and blast campaigns, but I mean, if you have different sections of for your business, people that are interested in different aspects for your business, you can target them more specifically to their interests, or you can start having more of a pool of what we call a dynamic list, which is people come in and out of list depending on what they engage with or what their interests are. And let's say you're a clothing store and you sell, pants, shirts, shoes. You can sectionalize them for someone who's interested in shoes mainly, to do a whole campaign for them. But you can't see that if you don't have that tracking in your site.
So segmentation and understanding the customers a little bit deeper. That's really, tracking will give you that defined insight of who your customers are. I think we said in our first clubhouse that business owners always think they know their customers until they're proven differently. And a lot of times, I'm going to say 9 out of 10 times working with clients, it's proved differently by looking at their online analytics once they have the tracking in place. Mm-hmm. The last thing I want to hone in on is really some of these third-party tracking systems that are going above and beyond in today's day and age to give you not only data that we've seen from the previous tracking systems, but also the ability to leverage the data in advertising creations or new funnel development or a visual representation of your data so that it goes above and beyond. If you guys haven't seen a Funnelytics is an awesome program. It's a third-party tracking system that you put on your landing pages, your website, and it'll actually visually represent the amount of consumer flow you have going through your funnel. It's a great tool. I used it for a while. It also allows you to work and do estimates of conversion values and other changes to the site and what that would do to your bottom line and your overall revenue. So it's a great visual representation of it. Then you have companies and products such as like WordStream. WordStream is an awesome system that's going to bring all your paid advertising tracking systems together, like Facebook and Google advertising under one platform, but it also gives you the ability to write your own ads on that platform. So it's not just a tracking mechanism, it's also a tracking mechanism with the ability to write the ads with the information right in front of you. Awesome program. If you're running Facebook, if you're a business owner locally and you think you can run ads yourself and don't want to hire an agency, get WordStream. It'll be the best tool you ever had until your business gets so big where you need to hire a marketing team, and then you can call us. And then the last few are like Reporting Ninja and Thought Metrics. These are just systems that are bringing multiple different tracking sources together, multiple different sources of consumer traffic that's going to your website from Facebook, Instagram, Google, your SEO, your blogs, any backlink structures that you have, any of the other search engines such as Yahoo, AOL, whoever uses that anymore. It brings it all together under one surface so that you can write reports and have a clear understanding of what's working and what's not working. Not all these reporting tools are created equal, so make sure that when you're looking into bringing a third-party reporting tool that you have to pay for, and again, Facebook is free, Google tracking is free, Google Analytics is free. There's a lot of free tools that you can use out there. They're just not as user-friendly, and they're a little less visually representing than some of the newer tools that are out there. So if you're gonna pay for a new tool, make sure it works with all the systems you currently have in place in your business. If you're doing ads, make sure it takes in that ad data. If you're doing organic efforts, you're doing SEO, you're doing publications, backlinks, and blogs, make sure it's getting all that data and understanding where that data is coming from. So, yeah, shout out to some of those companies because they've really developed some reporting tools that I've fallen in love with as a data nerd, and it helps you immensely to see it in a very clear representation. So, just a recap across the board, tracking is understanding your customer. And if you want your business to develop and grow, you need to understand your customer. Santi, you brought up a great point of how people kind of set it and forget it with a lot of the service-based companies or brick and mortar businesses. They build a website and they forget it. Mm-hmm. Those type of businesses really need to take a note from the e-commerce based businesses that spend every day working to optimize 0.25% up on their homepage or on their product page or on the initiate checkout page, whatever it might be. They are fighting to get that percentage up little by little because they understand the amount of return a small percentage changes the bottom line of your business. And the tracking will make it very clear of what you need to change so you do not waste your time, your energy, and your money working on things that aren't affecting the growth of your business. Santi, you got any other points you want to throw in there for tracking before we close this out?
No, man, I think that pretty much covers a lot of it. Yeah, just tracking is crucial. I mean, it's all we keep repeating it. It's so crucial for you to see what's going on. It's like, us getting blood work of what our contents are in our body to see if our body is actually functioning correctly. I mean, it's kind of that same analogy for our business. Got to have that whole data.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, it's as easy as if you're not on our page and you're looking for okay, how do I need a Facebook pixel, I need to set it up. Look up Facebook pixel installation on Google, and the first thing you're going to see is Facebook itself walking you through it. Yeah. Or you can look it up on YouTube, and it's a step-by-step process. It will take you 30 seconds. I promise you that. So, all right, guys, that's all we have for today. So the next show is going to be on Monday, and we're going to be going over email marketing, and Santi's going to cover 99% of this. I'll have maybe one input or two, but he is the absolute man at email marketing. I have never seen someone set up automational flows and have such a clear understanding of the customer's life cycle and the customer's path within emails as Santi. So you guys don't want to miss that. It's Monday, probably in the afternoon. We haven't set a time yet, but we'll keep you posted. And again, if you want to see a recap, check it out on our YouTube page.
Sounds good.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.